Hiyo nimekushika.
Truthfully speaking, I've never been into one.
Uko na ulcers, na uko na H. pylori, uko na diabetes, uko na high blood pressure. Uko na hizo vitu zote, na hizo zote ni the underlying cause inakuanga stress. Na stroke pia, kuna watu unapata hadi stroke.
Thank you for tuning in once again. It's a beautiful evening live from Color Vision Studios. And today, welcome to episode number 2, the OT experience. Hope you liked the experience in the last episode. Hope this is gonna be an experience you ain't gonna forget. Yeah, that's my guy. And today in studio, you guy, my guy. You don't want to know this guy. This guy, a certified psychological consultant. Yeah, that's what I mean. Found at Onit Health Center. This guy is a mentor. This guy is a mental health advocate. Bringing to you guy, my guy.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, my name is Anthony Gaidon Njenga, or you can call me Anthony Njenga.
All right.
I am a certified psychological consultant. I'm also a counseling psychologist. I'm also a mentor, a mental health advocate, and recently I opened a company that is called Onit Health Center.
Onit Health Center.
Yeah, that is basically about issues to do with mental health.
All right.
And our tagline in the company is "You are not alone."
You are not alone.
Yes.
Are you a Liverpool fan?
No.
You never walk alone?
I am a Manchester City.
Manchester City. Manchester City haina fans good. You my guy, Anthony ama Anthony.
Whichever is okay. Anthony Njenga, Anthony Njenga, whichever is okay.
Nice one. Yes. That was a good intro, my guy. Yeah. Just take a thought for it.
Okay.
A little thought moments.
Okay.
And just before we get into details, I always like knowing the childhood background, the upbringing of every of my guests, because I believe how you were brought up.
It's very important.
Very important, and dictated what you do in your adulthood. So, where was Anthony born? How many are there in the family?
Okay.
Are the parents alive? How was the experience? Back then.
Yeah.
Were you a difficult child or
Okay.
Yeah.
This will be an exclusive to no, actually to be realistic.
Okay.
This will be the first show that I'll be introducing myself like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I do a lot of talks and TVs and all that.
Yeah.
But rarely do they ask me that question unless maybe on a personal level.
All right.
Yeah. So let me start. Anthony was born in Mombasa.
Mombasa.
Yes.
Where did the accent go?
Accent iko jamani. Ndio sasa yaweza kuja jamani. Wanipata Ukitaka kuja aje tu.
Nakuona.
Yeah, so I was born in Mombasa.
Yes.
Born and raised with 2 parents. Actually, we were born twins. Right. I had a twin sister. Apparently, my twin sister had passed 6 months after we were born.
Okay.
Yes. Then 8 years later, my small brother was born.
All right.
Yes.
8-year gap.
Yes, 8-year gap. I'm only a young guy, maybe. Kuna watu hawajui miaka yangu. Let me just say this publicly.
Yeah.
I'm only 27 years.
27 years.
Only 27. This year.
Oh my.
Yeah, next month, 13th April will be my birthday. That is when I'll be turning 27. So I'm 26 and a half.
All right.
Yes.
I can feel some people are feeling you are giving 35, 36.
Yeah. Most people think
voice,
so. Yeah, people think so.
Right.
People think so. But So raised by 2 parents, my mom and dad in Mombasa. What else? High school nikasomea, primary nikasomea shule 2.
Mombasa.
Yes, Mombasa nimesomea shule inaitwa PCEA Makupa Academy. Maybe those who are watching relate, Mombasani wanajua. PCEA Makupa Academy, then nikatoka nikaenda maeneo ya Nyeri. Shule inaitwa Narumoru Victory Academy. Katoka hapo nikapata marks zangu more than 300 sitaridhia. Then nikaenda high school inaitwa Anesta Boys Lanet iko Nakuru. Yes.
National school?
Yes, apparently. Then after kwenda Anesta kidogo nikaona maisha ni ngumu huko. Me I usually tell the people who have studied, maybe there's someone will be watching me from Anesta Boys Lanet.
Yes.
If you were with me in Anesta Boys Lanet in 2013, tukiingia form 1, then na ulimaliza Anesta, wewe direct unafaa kuingia jeshi. Life ilikuwa ngumu but yes. So nikaona form 2 second term nikasema manze, let me just transfer this school. I go to another school. Since from class 5 to class 8 I was in boarding. Then form 1 hiyo paka form 2 bado ilikuwa boarding. Nikasema maneno ya boarding no, let me just maybe go to a day school. Katolewa Nakuru Anesta Boys Lanet, nikapelekwa Nyeri, a school that is a local school inaitwa Mweshwiri Secondary School.
Mweshwiri Secondary School.
Yes, hapo
from Anesta to Mweshwiri.
You can imagine,
I can imagine.
Hapo kidogo tukasumbuana na principal. I remember this is something that maybe most people we studied in Mweshwiri wanajua. In Mweshwiri nilikuwa tuko na makorofishana na principal. Na huyo principal kama anani watch. Mr. Maina. Unajua kwa nini?
Yeah.
Alifikiria nimefukuzwa Anesta.
Alright.
Na nilikuja na barua ya transfer. Na apparently nilikuja kurealize years later that Mr. Maina had a nephew in Anesta. So anashindwa, why would I transfer from Anesta, which is a very national big school, to this local school?
Basically it feels like maybe downgrading.
Yes, or I was expelled, maybe nilifanya makosa. Which I did not do. Sikufanya makosa, ilikuwa genuine transfer. Then I went to Mweshwiri, hatukupelekana vizuri. Apparently I don't normally say this, but nilifukuzwa Anesta, Mweshwiri juu ya kutusi the same principle. Nilimtusi ndio nitoke. That was my way out.
Alright.
Hatukuwa sawa. Then from Mweshwiri nikaenda sasa form 3, juu nilifukuzwa form 2 third term. Form 3 nikaenda another same local school.
So this is Nyeri.
Hiyo Mweshwiri iko Nyeri. So nimetoka Anesta Nakuru, nikaenda Mweshwiri local school Nyeri. Sasa nikaenda another ni local school bado Nakuru. Nakuru bado. Inaitwa Mweruti Secondary School.
You are tourist in high school.
Nikaenda huko and that's where I finished my form 4. But let me tell you, my high school life, those who know me, it was bad. I was into drugs. I was into alcohol. I was into bad company. I did all those bad stuff. Mi hakuna kitu drugs sijatumia in high school. Zote, name them, apart from cocaine. Hizo vitu zingine zote.
Because I can tell why. Cocaine is very expensive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But all the other drugs, I used them. So actually, I think that is where my motivation of counseling, mental health, psychology came in. Because I was almost being an addict. But sikuwa addict, but I was almost heading there.
Yeah.
So until to date, I normally like telling this story to each and every young person who is watching.
Yes.
To tell them that, mimi nilikuwa hapo. Right. And that is not a good path. That is not a good path. Yeah, thinking that drugs, unajua maybe watu wanafikiria drugs ndio the solution to challenges.
Yeah.
Because psychologically people think, as psychologists we think that drugs ndio solution. Watu wanafikirianga that drugs ndio solution ya kudeal na stress. But it's not the solution. So anyway, to cut the long story short, mimi naweza ongea sana. I was raised in a good family. There's one thing I didn't mention. My mom and dad separated in
at what point in your life?
The separation? When I was in form 1 third term.
About 15 years maybe?
11, 12.
Form 1?
Yes.
11, 12?
Yes, 11, 12 years. Now, 2013.
2013, all
yes.
right.
No, it's 11, 12. To go to 2025, That's 12 years ago. 2013, yeah. 12 years ago.
12 years ago, but
yes.
You were about maybe...
I was 15.
15.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I was 15 years. So I separate and, everyone went their ways. Nikariziwa na my mommy and my small bro. We're only 2 right now. And life has been challenges here and there. And fast forward, kumaliza high school. nimefanya vitu mingi in the line of self discovery. I've been an MC. There's so many people who know me as an MC and a hype man for like 5 years. No, nilikuwa najita hype Tony. Watu wengi wanajua hype Tony sana. Nimefanya nini na kina Zablon the Flamer, you know, Flamers dance crew. Yeah, so many whatever events I've been into, worked with so many companies. Yeah, but ikafika mahali 2020, that is when my turning point came in. And the time ya COVID, there was no events, watu walikuwa on lockdown and all that. And you know, ikafika mahali nikasema, you know what now, what can I do now? I'm at home, no events, no money. What will I do? I opted to open a show that was on Instagram live. Ilikuwa inaitwa Real Talk Live with Anthony Njenga. With that nili host big known celebrities.
Maybe two examples.
Doria Chege.
Magi, the wife to
the bull. Yes, Doria Chege, Mashmwana Mapose. Yeah, I'll just mention the two for now. Yeah, so ilienda vizuri in the process hapo. After high school watu maybe wanafikiria si kusoma. After high school nime fast forward lakini after high school nili enroll kufanya diploma in media and mass communication at Mombasa Aviation.
Alright.
Yeah, but sikumaliza juu nilikuwa sasa mimi ndio hype man, pesa ilikuwa inaingia. Sasa ikafika mahali nikasema mimi na shule pesa ikiingia kidogo, unajua watu wengi ufikiria sasa masomo imeisha. But I'm a very big advocate of education, which is very important. So nikaacha hiyo first year diploma, nika venture into hiyo MCing. Nimefanya vitu mingi sana, nimefanya forex, nimefanya music production. I've done so many things that in the line of self discovery. So 2020 ndio my turning point ikakuja. And in the process nika decide kuingia shule to pursue my I did my diploma in counseling psychology. And hivyo ndio vitu zikaenda kukua. Finished, I've been practicing from I normally count practice yangu from ile time nilikuwa shule. Juu mimi nikiwa shule bado nilikuwa napata clients.
Alright. Nikiwa shule as in
college. Yes.
Okay.
As I'm studying psychology, I was also getting clients because I was very passionate. Nikaelektiwa hadi kukua, kuna hii nini zinaitwa JZ departments, peer counseling.
Peer counseling.
Kulikuwa na peer counseling. I was actually the head of peer counseling.
So this is a different school.
After hii diploma nilikuwa Mombasa. Nikatoka Mombasa nikaenda Thika School of Medical and Health Sciences. Yes, kupursue sasa diploma yangu ya counseling psychology. And that is when my counseling journey started. It has been good. I'm privileged to say nimework na so many schools, University of Nairobi to mention. I've been to so many talks and all that, facilitated sessions. I would say with my number of years of experience, I would give myself this could be the 4th year. Yeah, 4 years of experience.
So basically, in mwaka ikisha you graduating what you are doing.
Yes.
4 years.
Yes, 4 years in experiencing as a psychological counselor. Yeah, so that's how it has been. I've been into so many TV stations.
Right.
Yeah, kuongelesha watu about mental health. I'm very passionate about mental health, which is very important. Kwanza saa hii unajua as a country Kenya there are so many issues that are going.
It's true.
Yeah, so I'm very passionate about mental health, general life, mental health, mambo na relationships, generally everything about mental health. Yeah, so I am privileged to be here to have this conversation. Whichever conversation you're going to have, I am privileged to be here.
Yeah, so Sir Anthony, has explained everything.
Yes.
Hope the experience is experiencing. So just one question. You just talked of you being in boarding from primary school. And boarding school I've faced a lot of criticism of late.
Yes.
So would you advocate for day school or boarding schools in that particular age?
I would advocate for boarding 100% because number one, children who are in day school, normally they don't know so much.
Right.
I will tell you practically, my small brother does not until right now. Amekuwa boarding at some point alienda boarding. No, amekuwa day school, alienda boarding I think akiwa class 6 or class 7.
Yeah.
Na amekuwa na challenges. When it comes to boarding, the good thing or the benefit of going to boarding at an early age is you learn how to even wash your clothes. You learn how these few things here and there that you learn. Naona kama ukiwa boarding pia kidogo unakuwa na aibu ya kukojoa kwa kitanda. Hiyo age ya kwanza ukiwa darasa la 5. Lakini day school sasa mama yako ako hapo nyumbani anakuoshea wewe unakojoa tu.
So I'll tell you why at boarding schools have faced some scrutiny of late. Most probably because of the gayism and lesbianism. I feel like day schools, boys are interacting with girls, so I mean it's quite hard for in Form 2 is where I guess the adolescents works. So I feel like when boys are at Form 2, I feel they have a lot of energy. You see,
yes,
and when you have a lot of energy and you have got your fellow man there. Probably there is a gay who started long ago. He may influence you. There's one thing the former president of Philippines said. He said that if he was not so much into church, he would also be a gay because of the influence. It's so much in the Philippines. If you watch their movies, there's always like one guy who behaves like a lady. If you watch, so basically influence. So I don't know what you have to say about that.
Yes, there are so many challenges because I've also been to I do so many talks in high school. So many. I've been doing that from 2021, 2022. So many challenges, so many issues. And one thing I'll just say is that some of these issues nakuanga stemmed from the home, from home. The childhood upbringing. Naitwa childhood past experiences, growing up maybe these children with their parents, the trauma, hizo vitu mingi, relationship na wazazi, nyumba, home ni toxic, growing up, you see the moment, let me just tell you something, or even tell even those who are watching. One major thing that every child needs is a good, loving, supportive home and parents. So if the home is not good in one way or another, that's why unapata these kids end up being so close to the fellow gender. If it's a boy, and I feel maybe the home, maybe I grew up akiona babake akichapa mamake every single time. That builds a lot of psychological stress in this child's mind. And unapata na feel sasa kama wazazi wangu hawawezi kuwa hivyo, sasa hawawezi ni nurture in a good way, environment sio mzuri, then it means then maybe another fellow man, my fellow friend hapo kijana anaweza kuwa maybe the closest person to me, or if it's a lady vice versa. Na inakuwa challenging. Now these are some of the issues that are not addressed. Even when I do those talks, I normally request the principal to arrange a parents talk, because as much as we talk to these kids, the homestead and the home environment is also very important in building someone to be who he is or who she is. Unapata kuna watu wengine hata juu growing up ama childhood yake haikuwa mzuri, akikuwa mtu mkubwa anakuwa na challenges kwa uhusiano, romantic relationships, marriages inakuwa challenge. Mimi hata haoi kama saa hii right now there's a pandemic ya so many people hawaoi ama single mothers. Mwanamume anapiga dem ball anahepa, which is not a good thing juu ya hizo unfinished businesses that are normally from the childhood upbringing.
And seems you'd be a good fit to ask this question because you just talked about your parents separating. So how is it being from such a family? How do they raise kids?
Well, to be honest, it has been challenging. Rarely do I talk about this, but it has been challenging.
All right.
Growing up from birth until Form 1, before they separated, it has been good, but I've also been realizing some patterns of, not a peaceful home, and I've just been silent on it. Right. I'm very sure even when I post this video, my mom will be shocked.
All right.
I've never told my mom this.
Yeah,
I've realized some patterns of toxicity.
In both sides?
Yeah. When they were together, when my mom and dad were together growing up, they were, si ati alikuwa anapigana, but kulikuwa na maneno, verbal, emotional and verbal, hizo vitu zote, yes. And I kept silent on it until nowadays mi huogopa sana vurugu na mtu anaongea vibaya.
Yeah.
Juu ya that experience. So I normally feel so bad when I hear people throwing names. Ama conductor anaongelesha mtu vibaya. Inanikumbusha like, you see what happened there. Is it really what is that? But I thank God nili, you know, when you're studying counseling, there you do therapy sessions.
Alright.
Yeah, and also even as you're practicing, at some point, yes, a psychologist or a counselor who you go to when challenges become difficult, you always saidia client kama wewe mwenyewe pia una deal na issues zako. So yeah, it has not been easy growing up, but I can say thank God nili manage to handle those in one or another. But my small bro ndo kidogo naonanga ilimu affect na inamu affectingi. So I normally stand in the gap for my small brother who is 8 years younger than me, to try and talk to this brother of mine, to try and you know, paka saa mimi na brother yangu we are very close. Hata tukienda academic day ana prefer niende kuliko any other person, because I listen to him, I am there for him, and he's in form 4 right now. So you can imagine also hiyo high school yote nimekuwa hapo ndio asikuwe na thank God amesomea shule moja.
That's awesome.
So I've been there to stand in the gap because ilimu affect, but this is something that nataka kimaliza form 4 at least pia nimlipie sessions and the therapy, because I'm a big advocate of therapy, because myself I'm a therapist. I'm a very big advocate of counseling because it works.
And it opens
a lot
many things that I feel like.
Sasa wacha nikuulize, wewe umeenda therapy? Niambie ukweli. Ambia tu watu ukweli. Nimekuweka kwa spotlight. Ever in your life have you ever done therapy?
I thought for that
hiyo nimekushika.
Truthfully speaking, I've never been into a therapy session. But okay, I've talked to a psychologist about
Is it in a professional way?
Okay, Sitam Valley.
Yes.
They have psychologists free of charge. So it was there was something that was disturbing me. So I went that particular day because it's free. Obviously, it's maybe 20-30 minutes. So that's how close I was.
20-30 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't think that is counseling, sorry to say.
Was it? Yeah, it basically.
Because let me just say this.
30.
Let me state it clearly, because you have mentioned about the time and the profession. Just a bit.
Yeah.
Counseling is very different from guiding.
Okay.
There's a difference between guidance and counseling. Very big difference. You know, now the fact that you've mentioned church.
Yeah.
Now, let me just say this. Maybe nitapigwa mawe na watu wa kanisa. There are so many pastors and church elders that call themselves counselors right now. Wengi sana wanajitanga counselors. Unasikia kanisa wanasema mkuja sijui counseling kwangu. Na ni pastor. But if you ask this pastor, are you trained? Hata ka certificate. Kawani.
The Holy Spirit trained me.
You see?
Yeah.
Now, for counseling, to put this out clearly. For a counselor, for a psychologist to be a counselor or a psychologist,
yes,
you must undergo training. Either at least fanya hata kama ni 1 year certificate course.
Alright.
Ama siku hizi hata kuna kuanga na online 3 months.
Online.
Piga 3 months. Then after 3 months, you can get your license and you can start practicing. Because in counseling, we use theories and you use techniques and skills to conduct the therapy sessions. We don't just, uwezi kuja kama uti uniambie, manze, Antojo, nimeachwa na bibi bana, bibi kwanza hata siku niacha, alikuwa amenicheat. Mimi kama counselor ama uwe mtu anajiita counselor nikuambie, manze toka tu. Hapo ni mbaya. I can't tell you to leave because nikikwambia uende alafu. For example, let's say if it is a lady, maybe akona bwana yake. Amekuja ameniambia the lady amekuja ameniambia the husband amemchapa. Amempiga, amekuwa akimpiga. Nikuje nimwambie, you know what, toka. Well, decision in counseling, we normally leave the decision on the solution to the client. So my work is to guide you to the best absolute solution for you to make. Nitakuwa direct. For example, your example nimepeana. A lady has come to me and told me, you know what, I've been married for example, I've been married for 5 years. We have 2 kids. My husband has been beating me every time, hata akiwa sober ama akikunywa pombe, vita, matusi, tuko na watoto wanasikiza. I want you to help me. Somebody who is not trained as a counselor atasema, you know what, wewe ni kama ujipendi, toka. That is not a trained counselor. But a trained counselor or a trained psychologist who has experience and is licensed, atasema, you know what, atamsikiza kwanza, aulize what is happening, atake kujua pia childhood ya huyu msichana imekuaje. Is it possible for you guys to come for counseling, couple counseling together, ama can we focus on you as a lady peke yako? Then nimsikize, after kumsikiza nisikuwe sympathetic, ile kusema oh yeah, in counseling we don't do oh yeah. In counseling,
I was reading somewhere, Gen Z, 2050, obviously we'll have Gen Zs as psychiatrists.
Yeah.
So you vented every problem you have, and the psychologist goes like, hey,
No, that is not the right way. You, as a therapist, hata kama hauna kitu ya kusema, you listen. There is something we call, I'm even saying this to even the people in the society.
Yes.
Hata kama wewe si trained therapist, and someone has come to you, a friend or someone else, to tell you about a problem. Even if you don't have the skills and the techniques and the theories to use to help this person, but the moment you just give them a listening ear, ukae tu hapo, msikize. Msikize tu, just listen. You just concentrating, una respond, hata una shake nini, inaitwa active listening. To a point you even listening, you're even nodding your head. Inamaanisha you're with me, you are empathizing with me. That is how counseling is. Alafu pia counseling sio 20 minutes. Counseling inachezeanga between 45 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay.
Yes, na hiyo free sessions ni mzuri, lakini mimi nitasema kitu moja counselor mwenye anapatiana free services, unless huyu hakulipa school fees shuleni.
But I guess the maybe it's subsidized or something.
Let me just say this. I am a very firm believer of investing in your mental health. Utisa hiyo kigonjeka malaria, utakimbia wapi mahali? 2 places. Pharmacy na
hospital.
Sana.
And the best, which would be the most expensive.
Exactly. Haya, hiyo si utatibiwa bure?
Not at all.
Whatever SHA, NHIF, hizo whatever, si inalipiangwa monthly?
Definitely.
Si ndio?
Yes.
Per year, say for example kama sahisha for 50 ule mtu wa chini, per year utalipa almost 5,000. Si utalipa bado? So why do people normally prioritize now even speak to them? Wacha niwaongelesha. Why would you invest in your physical health and forget about your mental health? Remember, mental health is wealth. Why would you pay thousands of money? Mtu amesikia kona ulcers. Do you know what is the underlying cause of ulcers? Ni stress. Umesikia H. pylori?
I have it actually.
Stress. Underlying cause ni stress. Na dawa za H. pylori ni pesa kidogo. It's very expensive.
Very expensive.
So you can imagine.
They give you like it's called like in restaurants you say a full course.
Yes.
Because it's so in the prescription is quite
yes. So you can imagine, before wewe uko na stress hii imekuwa challenging, before ufike ile point uko na ulcers na uko na H. pylori, uko na diabetes, uko na high blood pressure, uko na hizo vitu zote, na hizo zote ni the underlying cause inakuanga stress. Na stroke pia, kuna watu unapata di stroke, na hiyo sasa ndio umeenda extreme sana. Why would you allow yourself to get to that level while you can invest on your mental health? Mental health is wealth. And remember, you are not alone. If you're watching me right now and you feel as if maybe hauna pesa ya kuenda therapy, therapy is expensive. Therapy is very affordable. Kuna sessions, kuna watu who charge only 500. Actually, si watu, hospitali mingi ni 500. Ukienda, a good example is one that I know, Thika level 5. Thika level 5 ukienda kwa hiyo whatever psychiatry and psychology, they will only charge you 500 bob. Kama uko na hizo SHA, it will only be free, itakato hapo. Your SHA pia unalipia. So you can imagine, why would you say that you have a challenge, uko na problem, uko na shida either kwa ndoa yako, kwa life yako, na hauwezi kuseek help, ati unaona hauna rafiki yako ati hata kusikiza? Kuna professionals kama sisi. Niko hapa, after hii show by then nitawachia namba.
Definitely be down here.
Nitawachia namba ndio at least wasione ni kama wako peke yao. Yes, so please invest on your mental health as much as possible. The same way you invest on your physical health, you go to the hospitals, unafanyiwa full body checkup.
Yeah, exactly.
Physical health uone hauna magonjwa. Lakini ukiwa na stress, unakaa hapo kwa karoom, unaji-isolate, unalia, macho inakuwa red. Kuna watu wengine watakimbilia kindukulu, kuna mwingine atakimbilia pombe, atajifungia kwa sijui wapi, aende kwa bar, wasichana. Ati hiyo ndio ni coping mechanism. Na the best way, even if you can't afford hata therapy, pia kuna vitu zingine unaweza fanya. Unaweza journal, unaweza enda walk, but the best solution ya kudeal na whichever challenge that you may be facing in life, talk to a professional.
Walk into a
therapist. Yeah, mental health facility. Hata si lazima mental health facility, hospitali pia wako na hizo services. Usikae hapo ukikufa na issue juu statistics zinaonyesha one person dies every day by suicide. One person dies by suicide every single day.
And for men, I believe it's quite challenging.
That is actually for men.
They don't open up.
That is actually for men.
All right.
It's different from women. Women talk. Men, there is the culture. Ati mwanamume akiongea yeye anaonekana yeye ako weak. That is something we should erase as a society.
Exactly.
Be able to speak up, useme uko na challenge. Don't say ati juu society inasema ati ukienda kuambia mtu, huyo mtu anaweza enda kuambia watu wengine issue yako. Kuna professionals. There is a neutral third party with a professional. Right. Of course kuna watu wamekuwa na bad experiences na therapists. Lakini to be honest, counseling does work. And I will advise and I will really tell you guys to seek therapy sessions, and you remember you are not alone. I am here for you, and there are so many professionals who are there for you. Work in a hospitals, kama hawezi kuja kwangu, maybe services zangu ziko expensive. Kuna hospitali you only pay 500 bob, usingoje free. Juu kama wa Kenya na wa Afrika tuko na mentality za vitu za free. Sasa for how long will you wait for the free services? Yeah.
And that has brought us into our first conversation of the day. The extent of the traumas experienced in childhood, how they affect relationships.
Yes.
Romantic relationship and friendships.
Okay.
Even how people relate, in work environment. Maybe do you have a story?
Your relationship, your childhood.
Okay. Maybe somebody confided into you how maybe he had a rough experience.
Okay.
People, yeah.
Well, confidentiality ndio inakuanga number one, but I will just mention something. By the way, I will not mention names. I'll just say one. Na menyo maybe usifiki wewe nasemea. Si wewe. So there is a client one time alikuja akaniambia, that this relationship ako nayo ni toxic, lakini the husband has a lot of money. They have 2 kids. Bwanake anamchapa, anampiga vibaya, kona scars, anamchapa vibaya. This is a very bad issue. Hiyo issue ni mbaya sana. Sasa we are saying please, let's say no. Hizo issue zina end up kukua femicide. Say no to femicide, guys. True. So amekuja kaniambia, Anthony, I have this husband. We have been married for 15 years. 15 years si kidogo. 15 years si kidogo. And mind you, it has only been good. No, when they got married, they only had a good, unajua in marriage there's a phase called honeymoon.
Honeymoon stage.
Yes. Yeah. So your honeymoon phase, it was only, si umeona seme for example leo, it only took 2 years for that honeymoon stage. Ikakuwa 2 years vizuri, then after the second year, the other 13 years have been violence, physical abuse. So akaniambia akona watoto wawili, amekuwa kichapo for 13 years actually. And they have 2 kids and they've been married for 15 years. Na akaniambia sasa that anashindwa kutoka.
Reason.
That is the challenge. Actually, that is the main issue alikuja kwa therapy kuniambia. Now, this lady is married for 13 years, or for 15 years.
15.
It has only been good for only 2 years.
2 years,
Then the other 13 years, it has been physical abuse. They have 2 kids. The husband has so much money and power. So much money. I even know the husband until now. He's a very big man in this country. Very, I won't mention his, but very big. So she came to me, to ask me, how can I live juu nimeshindwa? Juu akaniambia pia in the story, the husband ashawahi mfukuza. Na imagine alimfukuza na watoto. So the wife the lady akaenda kwa a friend. Apparently the lady stayed in the friend's place for 1 month. Bwanake hakumtafuta. Nikamuuliza, did you try call your husband, or did your husband try to call you to try and see or to know why? Mbona hajakutafuta? The lady told me the husband alimwambia that akimaliza kukua na maneno yake atarudi tu nyumbani. Anajua tu njia ya nyumba. Atarudi tu nyumbani. Atajileta. So the lady was like, am I really supposed to be? And I asked her this question. Then what is making you stay? Akaniambia kids.
All right.
Number 2, pesa. Number 3, familia ya udem hawana do. Jamaa alitoa bride price mzuri sana. Dowry. Watu siku hizi wanatoanga dowry ya kitu kama ikienda sana ama 80 ama 50 depending na mfuko. Huyo jamaa alitoa 1 point. Hiyo ni dowry day 1.
And obviously it's been maybe financing the side of the
Let me just shock you. Alijengea familia yake 6 bedroom apartment.
Oh my.
The girls, the ladies side wako watoto 3. These 3 kids wote wamejengewa na the husband. This lady who came to therapy to ask for consultation and all that, aliniambia bwanake amemjengea apartment kama 8 in the whole country. Right. Under her name.
Under her name.
Under her name. See, under the husband's name.
Under her name.
Yeah, under her name. The husband has so much money. Siwezi mention jina lakini I would say power yake
is a tycoon.
Power yake na aliko Dangote.
Almost. Same was happening.
Unawajua wako Kenya. Sita mention.
Influence Dangote Nigerian.
Sijasema president wetu bado afiki.
Alright.
Lakini tufuatwe na Subaru. Subaru itakukujia hapa bana. Tuko abducted.
So what was the
So now alikuja akaniambia anashindwa kutoka. Now I was exploring her issue. We did like approximately like 20 sessions with her. While alikuwa na to and fro, ako kwa rafiki yake, anarudi kwa bwanake, anapigwa tena anatoka. Imagine alikuwa anapigwa to a point ako na scar. The lady is a housewife. Afanyagi kazi. Sasa anafanya kazi, ako na gari. Ako na all the money ako nayo. So the lady, the only question alikuwa anataka kujua ni how do I leave this toxic marriage? This man has everything, he has power. Sasa hivi kiweza toka, atajua tu mahali niko. Ako na power, ako na watu. Hata niende wapi nitajulikana, hata nipande ndege atajua tu. So she was asking me how do I live, and it was complicated because I was really confused because I can't just tell her to leave. Aende wapi? Hata akienda bwanake amtafuti, na hata aende aseme story yake kwa public. Huyo jamaa anajulikana na ako na power, atafuatwa. Na kama jamaa anaweza mchapa hivyo, si atampiga kopa. Tamgonga kopa na hivyo ndo historia yake itaisha. So the lady was very scared. So alikuwa anakaa tu hivyo. And I remember we explored, akaniambia childhood yake. It was not easy. The lady apparently was brought up in a very toxic environment. The parents were fighting.
Fighting parents.
Physically. So ameona hiyo abuse. So ime happen kwake directly when alikuwa anaona childhood. So ime affect directly. So there is something that I told her. There is something called trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding.
Yes.
Trauma bonding.
Yes, trauma bond.
Trauma bond.
I'm a trauma bonding. Now, trauma bonding. Trauma bonding ni ile design yenye. For example.
Yes.
Let me use a good example, trauma bonding. Umelelewa kwa familia toxic. Vita, umeona vita. Ukakuwa mkubwa ikakuhapenia pia wewe ukaanza kufanyiwa hiyo vita, unakuwa used to na unakuwa attached to that. Juu tayari uko attached to what you saw growing up. You see? So ilikuwa challenge sana ku break hiyo trauma bond. For 15 years also, you can imagine this lady was not young. This lady was in her 40s, mid 40s. She was not a young girl. So it was difficult, and I would say the childhood normally affects people so much to a point that unapata mtu hata aoneshwe red flag anaona ikiwa pink.
Yeah.
Because you know there's something in childhood experiences is a very complex thing, and I normally say that most of the issues that we normally have as adults kama haija stem from adulthood, imetoka huko chini. Hata hii challenges ya watu maybe for example wame fall into drugs and alcohol addiction huko chini. It is either you saw that happening or the environment growing up was not easy. So you can imagine this lady, aliona the parents were fighting. Number 2, the parents were not there for her. There was rejection. So you see, we combining these two, the abuse, the trauma, the rejection. The abandonment.
Exactly.
Apate jamaa ako na pesa.
Apate jamaa. These guys are very good at love bombing.
Manipulating. So bad. So it was difficult, but I remember on our 15th session, we had an idea.
Alright.
Yeah, we had an idea, and the idea was you save up. Save so much amount of money. Not kidogo. Millions of money. And these millions of money, you're going to pay someone to take you very far, not in this Kenya, to very far chini ya maji, hata kama utapelekwa through water, benye hata kutrack. Uende country ingine, uende chini ya maji mbaya for like a couple of months. Then now resurface once things ziko sawa. So hiyo pesa ndo ingemsaidia. But one thing I came to realize, even with not only that client, with so many clients I normally have, my approach in therapy, I normally use a theory inaitwa psychoanalysis ama psychodynamic approach. Na hiyo ndo ina explore early past childhood experiences na kuconnect the dots na sahi, mbona mtu ako hivi, mbona relationship yake inakuwa hivi, mbona mabeshte zake wote umhepa. Hiyo kuna watu wenye hata hawezi keep friendships.
Definitely.
Unapata mtu rafiki zake anakuambia leo kwani mabeshte zako wako wapi? Mimi ule jamaa hata sijuange anakuanga wapi. Ama kuna watu pia relationship zake zao haziwaka. Ana date leo hata 1 month imeisha. Na kuna watu pia wanaruka maboys na madem. Sasa wako hapa. Kesho wako pale. Kuna mbia wenye watuliangi, kazi ni kucheat. Kumangamanga tu pale. Hawezi tulia. Hizo vitu zote is a psychological issue. Yes.
So that's quite interesting. I believe so far the experience is good, and age gap in relationships. We've had trending stories. Guardian Angel and his wife, the Bahatis. We have several stories.
Yes.
What do you have to say about women dating downwards?
Women dating younger men and men dating
maybe older
men dating younger women, that is.
Older men, okay. Generally, okay. Older men dating younger women is okay. I feel like you can talk about that, but that feels has been normalized.
Okay.
So basically, women dating younger men and men dating older women.
They were baba and mama kind of situation.
Okay, not necessarily.
Okay.
Just maybe a smaller age gap
okay. I get you.
Because personally, I feel like
you've been there.
Okay, I've been there.
Mama kadha or mama kama 70.
Not to a mama. Not to a mama.
Nakuta kwa spotlight
yeah. Not to a mama basically, but maybe somebody who's a little bit older.
A little bit miaka ngapi? Tukupe uko na miaka ngapi? Umeambia audience yako miaka yako?
Sijaambia.
Tupatie estimation basi. Usiambie exact, si lazima uambie exact, but tupe estimation.
Around 29.
Umetupima.
Around 29.
Uko 29?
Around.
Inaweza kuwa more.
Inaweza kuwa more. Just around.
Oh, sawa, 29. And the lady?
Okay, for me, mostly, I find myself, getting attracted to women 1, 2, 3 years
older. Mature women.
So personally, on that particular story, I feel like if it's not driven by lust, I think it's good because in this particular world we are living in, getting somebody who matches your definition of true love is quite hard. So when you talk about age being a factor, you're making the circle smaller.
Huh?
So what do you have to say about that?
Okay, now
have you been there?
Me?
Yeah,
I've been there.
All right.
Yeah, I've been there. I can relate. I can relate. At least walikuwa kama sema 5 years older.
5 years. I got for that. 5 years.
Yeah, katano.
5 years. All right. So, but I feel like I understand you because you feel you're giving the vibe of somebody who's more mature. So you definitely attract somebody who's but tell me the experience.
All right. So on my experience, it was good. It was good. At that time, I think I was 23.
All right.
She was 28. Yeah, and it was good. Honestly, there were challenges because unajua normally kuna watu, the ladies who are not all, but the ladies who feel just because the lady is older, so the man is younger, so atafinyiria huyu kijana. Which is not the case every time. Kuna zenye zinawaka kama ya Diana na Bahati. I can imagine kama Diana, I think ako 4 years older or 3 years.
It's
3 years older. Lakini ya Guardian Angel, that's a serious case. But now
not really serious.
It is serious.
It's just acceptable.
No, it is serious. Let me just tell you, because that's 20 years difference.
Basically, it's more than 10.
It's 20. It's 20.
That's something 50 something.
Yeah. Guardian to be 32.
I guess I got 33 up.
The lady is like 53.
Yeah.
So it's like 20 years actually. And the first born of the lady, Bwana Guardian, is age mate ya Guardian. So una imagine.
And just a flip side of the story. The president of France, is it Emmanuel Macron, married her teacher, her primary teacher. So
the lady is very old.
I guess it's
30 years old age difference.
Older. And Guardian Angel is 20 years.
Yes.
And let me tell you a common thing about the two guys. The two guys are successful in their various fields. Exactly.
Yeah.
Emmanuel is the president. Guardian is the current president of the gospel industry. And I can attribute that to these ladies.
Yeah.
So you tell me.
Now, let me just say this. Age gap, hakunanga issue. As long as kuna communication, as long as kuna respect, as long as kuna trust, hizi vitu mzuri kwa relationship. But also, remember, for let me use a good example of Guardian, but I won't mention Guardian. But now say the man is 30 and the lady is 50. Normally, it is from a point of a mother figure. This man looking at this woman as a mother figure. Yeah. I don't know my statistics. I don't want to say that I don't know if Guardian akona mama. I don't think akona mama.
I'm not that deep.
I don't think so. So you can imagine, but I don't want to say this because sijui, but when it comes to a man who is 30, for example, and a woman who is 50 or plus, age gap ya miaka kama 20, 30, huyo ni kama mzazi unaangalia. Na pia unajua most ladies that age wamefika point ya menopause.
Alright.
So wanataka company na companion. Sana if maybe the husband of this lady passed on, ama maybe this lady is a single mom, amekuwa single mom. Ni companion, company, anataka mwanamume ako na nguvu, mwanamume anaweza control hapa kidogo. But as a man you also need to feel masculine. So you imagine sasa 50 years sasa akupigie ukatae kushika, si unafeel kama utaki kushika simu ya mzazi.
Okay. Alright.
But I think it's okay. It all depends with how your relationship is. It all depends with the understanding, the commitment, the sacrifice, the love, the respect, the trust. I think it's okay. But the age gap here, the lady is 3 years older than the man. I think that is okay. Hiyo hakuna shida. Na pia vice versa, maybe but sasa issue inakuja sasa if the man is 60 and a lady is 20. Iko nowadays tunasikia wanakuwa na hiyo issue.
It's happening because in my campus days Sato, you could see, the VAs coming in and out.
Mama vijana wako 20, mama wako 60s 50s huko.
There's ladies who are 20 and sasa men who are 60s coming for them.
So I think also it all depends, but when it comes to that, the vice versa of the man who is 30 and the lady who is 60, hiyo ingine pia ni daddy figure. And another thing pia ni pesa. See, these men have made it, they have worked their way up there. They have the money. So the money pia wanataka pesa. Pia kuna wakati unapata nowadays there are ladies, even there are joints in Nairobi, people go wanademu wanaenda kutegea wanaume wazee au baba. Well, if it is not for purposes other than just sex and all that, kama you are genuinely in love with these people, because there are those kuna relationships inawaka kama hizo zenye there is the age difference. If it works well and good, but as long as there is love, trust, commitment, sacrifice, that's okay.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So on to our next conversation. Where do you draw the line between toxicity and a mere challenge in a relationship? How do you know this is toxic? How do you know this is just that phase in a relationship?
Challenges, now I'll say this, challenges are normal in relationships.
I
usually tell people, if there's a relationship that does not have a challenge, then you're dating your brother or your sister. If you're watching a new relationship haina challenges, if your relationship huyo ni brother yako ama sister yako. Hata pia brother na sister wako na challenges. So challenges are okay. Now for example, kuna challenges kama kutokubaliana. At the end of the day, we are different. There are differences. We come from different places, different upbringing and families, and we are together. So maybe mimi sikubaliani na kitu fulani. Haufai kunipiga mawe ati sikubaliane. For example, for me, I don't drink and I don't use drugs. I used to, but I don't. Then I get a lady who is doing that na ni influence tuende sherehe. Na nisikume aseme kama uendi na kuacha ama utagongewa. Ati jusiendi. Ati jusiendi sherehe na mimi mwenyewe niliquit hizo vitu na wewe unaenda unaniambia ati utaniacha. You need to understand that relationships have challenges, and the challenges has to do with misunderstandings. Lazima zikuwe. Disagree is to agree. So hata kama mna disagree on something haimaanishi kuwe toxic. Sasa now the thin line is drawn between now hapo kwa toxicity na challenges. Sasa for example, hiyo example nimetumia tu. I'm with a lady. I've told her I don't drink, I don't use drugs, and she tells me yeye ni mtu wa sherehe na genuinely nampenda na genuinely tunapendana, ati yeye ni mtu wa pombe na drugs and all that. And she tells me one of these fine days tunafaa tuende tupige sherehe ama twende Vasha, na mimi si trust hizo vitu za Naivasha. Then aniambia na wewe ni kama sio mzuri. Then siku moja ikuwe mbaya, tukikuwa na issues hapa na pale, ashinda ameirezo hata wewe ni mwanamume aina gani? Hiyo emotional abuse. Hizo emotional abuse. Sasa wewe ni mwanamume gani? Wewe anaweza kupiga na hata kupiga coffee. Now that's toxic. Disagreement. Now how you draw the thin line between challenges, normal challenges, normal relationship challenges na toxicity in relationships is when you're having a challenge in a relationship. For example, you're disagreeing on something, alafu imefika to an extent the other partner or the other person does not want to understand na anakuwa abusive, either emotionally, verbally, physically. Hiyo ni toxic. Hiyo nayo you need to understand that is toxicity.
Alright.
I think that is the best way to define it. So the thin line is drawn between understand that normal challenges are there, mta disagree, mtakuwa na
you disagree to
agree. Exactly.
You agree to disagree.
You disagree to agree. Because at the end of the day, kila mtu akona values zake different. I believe in something, you believe in something. So I won't beat you or point fingers at you juu una believe in so and so. Ati juu sasa mimi, like for example, my girlfriend ni wa Arsenal.
Arsenal?
Ni wa Arsenal.
But Arsenal girlfriends, the most understanding girlfriends.
Na mimi
you are the best.
Sasa mimi ni wa Man City, ni wa Arsenal. Na imagine season ndio tumefanyiwa.
Two Arsenal Manchester City.
So unapata ana ananiambia unajua wewe hata timu yako iko chini, hiyo ni sawa.
Yeah.
Hatuwezi kubaliana na timu zote, hatuwezi kubaliana vitu zote. So kama wewe maybe ni wa timu nyingine ni sawa, accept your person or your partner the way they come. The challenges are gonna be there, you will disagree, but remember the thin line is drawn when now the moment you start becoming verbal. If it is a man anaanza kupiga bibi ama the girlfriend ama the partner anaanza kumtusi, anaanza kumcheat juu ati au disagree on something, now that is a challenge. That is bad. Yes.
And that's hope you guys have know how to differentiate between toxicity and a mere challenge.
Yes.
I'm also learning, thank you for that.
Yeah.
And but there, my resolution this year was hashtag not tolerating any nonsense by the way.
Kama gani?
Toxicity in friends, relationships. We've talked about a thing for more than a year or two. We're still repeating the same things. I just let you go by the way.
You can't remember. This is one thing also nimesahau kusema, was to say nipita nikiongea. One thing people really try to do in relationship is changing your partner. Remember, when you do a mistake or you do something that I don't like, or maybe one of you, maybe if it's the man of you and vice versa, umefanya kitu sijapenda na kabisa si mzuri, ni kuambie, you see now, if you don't change, I should not, I should acknowledge you the way you are, but kuna extent, kuna limits. For example, ati sasa, you as a man, your lady amekucheat. Akuja kuambie ama hata akose kuambia ufind out amecheat. Well, that is extreme, but the moment maybe for example in one or another build your trust tena, then the lady akuja tena cheat, hapo now you draw the line. I normally advise it is okay to give chances, but don't give chances to toxicity. Give chances, but don't give chances to toxicity. Is emotional abuse, verbal abuse, kutusiana, na physical abuse. Now don't give chances to that. And you cannot change someone. Ati juu sasa unaona your partner has abused you leo, unaona kama kesho pia atakosa kufanya hivyo. Once unless kama amechange ama amekuwa a better person, but once something is repeated more than one time or more than two times, there's two chances. Once a pattern imerepetiwa maybe the first time or the second time, then change is difficult and you cannot do anything about that. Hapo unaenda counseling whichever, ama mnaenda pamoja couple therapy, na ikishindikana unainua mikono juu unasema ulijaribu.
You've talked about cheating and just before we just dig into that, I come from a Luo family or Nilots, the Nilotic system. In the Nilotic system, the South Sudans, the Luos, you'll find in a setup of a South Sudanese family, there are like 15 people living in the same house. Cousins, extended family, maybe far cousins, and that also happens in Luo families. And how do you tell somebody who's trying to develop anajaribu kujisimamia? Because I can tell you, maybe you have a cousin, maybe his parents had one or two challenges. They want you they want them to come and stay with you, but you feel like as an awakened person, this guy, their values and yours are different. So how are you going about that?
Okay.
How could he go about that?
Kindly repeat the question. Nielewe vizuri.
Maybe you have a cousin. For one reason or another, maybe he doesn't have a place to stay.
Okay.
He's been hoping into aunts, uncles, and something. Ukaambiwa, Anto, stay with this guy. Mchukue, you stay for him until maybe atisimamia. But ukiangalia this guy, their values and yours don't match.
Yes.
Maybe ni mzee wa kuchapa kazi, but you get back home, uni mtu
watch tu TV, kukaa tu.
Wewe umeenda umefend money, ukirudi vyombo alipika hata kuosha, the same guy who is going to do all that. So kitu kama hiyo
it happens in so many families, I can tell you for a fact, but there's one thing that I normally say, and I will just repeat about mental health ukianza. At the end of the day, you need to protect your peace of mind. What gives you peace as an individual, as a person, is very important. So kama wewe individual, for example, this family member, this cousin of yours, anajituma na umemuelezea mara ya kwanza, mara ya pili, bado asikii, hapo unaambia tu familia yako, you know what, umejaribu na huyu mtu ni kama hajitumi and the bills inakuwa too much, itabidi tu ametoka tu in a very light way, at least in a very polite way, at least uko umeambia this guy ama this lady mwenye unakaa na yeye, this cousin of yours, that you know what, kuna venye kidogo hapa kuna challenge na tunataka kulipa rent, kuna chakula and all that, so at least do something. Usione tu nimeenda job na wewe uko hapo, you're not even trying to even apply for jobs or look for a job. Utoke nje upigwe na jua, uone venye watu ni uko hapo unangojea tu chakula sapa, you're doing all that. If it reaches a point umechoka as an individual, just say, you know what, wewe hapana, you can't do this anymore. Just tell your family that I'm done, just let this guy leave. Mahali ataenda umejaribu, you have done your part, but ni kama this guy cannot be helped, because there are people who can't change.
So cheating, just talked about cheating, there's cheating, the ladies cheating, men cheating. I have a program that I do watch, Comrades Flavor. Have you watched it?
No.
By a guy named Big Man Steve. He meets a couple. He promises you 10,000 shillings. When you guys exchange your phones, he reads the message. Your phone. He takes your phone. He reads the message with your girlfriend. He takes your girlfriend's phone. You peruse the message with If you are clean, 10,000 shillings.
Nimeona, I've seen something like that. I've seen that. I've seen that.
So as I've told you, Comrades Flavor, I found out, women are leading the race, in cheating, I guess. Mostly because of the reason being, number one, money, number two, conjugal rights. Yes.
Now, what I'll say is this, Oti, and I'll even talk to people out there.
Yes.
Cheating is both ways, or is two ways. Both men and women cheat. But research is showing that women know how to cheat better.
Okay.
We men are the starters, women finish it better. Yes. So women know the techniques. How utajua. Mwanaume unajua mwanaume naturally ajui kumultitask.
It's true.
Mwanaume multitask.
That's why men are raising children which aren't theirs.
Unapata mwanaume ajui kumultitask, ajui kuswitch between relationships, ati yako na huyu leo yako na huyu. Hata kama atafanya hivyo, atashikwa tu. Hata siposhikwa atakuwa tu guilty. Utaona tu kuna venye hata kama mnaongea WhatsApp maybe yako mbali, communication inaanza kwenda chini and all that. So women ni kama siku hizi ni kama wameinini sana kabisa, but we wouldn't say that the women are the ones who cheat more. We wouldn't do that, because even men do that. So now women do what they see men doing.
Revenge.
Not revenge, kind of. Well, there are those who revenge, there are those who do tit for tat, but there are those who, cheating, I would say cheating, and maybe nitapigwa mawe juu ya hii. And let me say this. And I will say this for a fact. There is always a reason for cheating. Always a reason for cheating. You can't just, there are those who are psychopaths, ama watu wenye tu ni waongo tu naturally, wata cheat and all that. But realistically, you cannot just cheat without a reason. Either kuna issue hapa na pale kwa relationship, but the problem is now umerealize, for example, kama OT, acha nikuweke kwa spotlight. For example, OT, umerealize your wife akupiki nyama mzuri ama ugali ya hivi. Unasema kuna kibanda fulani hapo, naitwa Waigoros. Kuna nyingine iko hapa Komarok hapo inaitwa Waigoros.
Waigoro does it better.
Waigoros anaifanya vizuri sana. So unaendanga tu hapo. Then sasa in the process kuna those people who serve hapo kwa Waigoros. Unasema Sasa huyu analipia analeta vizuri na kidogo akona unaona bambami kumeweza sana. Ako sawa.
Matter is occupying space.
Sasa unaona unasema sasa mnajua kidogo but you know the thing is the moment you realize there's a challenge in your relationship there's no need of you cheating or going outside marriage or outside the relationship. You communicate what is happening. Kama ni kwa kitanda maybe hii ni PG-18 hii ni watoto pia nasikiza
iko sawa.
Ni vizuri conversations za sex kwanza ndio mzuri sana. Unapata kama kwa kitanda bibi yako tu ni missionary na wewe unataka zote scorpion kadunga laptop zote unataka doggy style lakini bibi yako amezoea tu missionary. Kuna mimi fulani nilisikia mwanamume ana kitanda anaambia bibi yake na kizungu every day is missionary. Why can't you do something else? So in that case unapata kama mwanamume unasema you want to explore and that is the challenge by the way na happening nowadays to say unapata there are men who are married for so many years na maybe wamezoea the normal penetration ya vagina wametaka sasa kuexplore ende nyuma. Unapata wanaume wengi kwa marriage wengi wazee wana opt kuendea wa vijana. Bibi yake amekataa simu tu. Kijana maybe akimlipa pesa kidogo atakubali. But you see there is a challenge in your relationship. Communicate. Kama bibi yako hajazoea hii stingo, unaweza tamfunza ama tu muongee. Usikue tu hapo ati unataka tu kukua in control of everything ati akikosea unaenda una cheat. You see?
But don't you think before people start dating one another, don't you think these are the conversations they should have before unamwambia tu me I don't do scorpion, I don't do this,
don't do laptop,
I don't do penguins.
These are conversations you need to have from the beginning, from the onset. Mkijuano. Shida ya generation ya sahi Gen Z, sorry to say which I am among them but I am not like them, is that wanakimbilia sana hata have conversation. Unapata mtu unamuuliza how did you meet with this lady ama this man, anakuambia tu tulijipata. Hamkui hata marafiki hata kama ni miezi 2 miezi 3 ujue huyu msichana ama kijana venye yako value system yake iko aje, belief system yake iko aje, ni nini anapenda, ni nini hapendi, ni nini anapenda kuambiwa, ni nini hapendi kuambiwa, love languages zake ni gani, love languages ni gani anapenda. Hizi ndio conversation mafaa kwanza on the onset. Sex ina mean nini kwake yeye, anataka unajua. Kuna watu by the way, there's a guy who told me alikuwa na this lady na wakakuwa marafiki for like 5 months. Apparently akujua udem ni virgin. Alikuwa na expect udem atasort. Akaingia na akaona msichana ampatii. Wamepiga mwaka ampatii. Akasema sasa itakuwaje? Akasema acha, akaniambia sasa mimi tabini tu akaniambia actually alienda kucheat, alienda kubata dem yake hajaijua na wamekuwa kidate sahi for like wamekuwa actually wali date na kaoana. Sasa after kuoana ndio sasa the lady I think this lady was so religious mpaka olewe ndio wafanye sex. So the guy has been cheating before they got married and before they got married it has been like 2 years. So I was like, how do you feel about it? Did you even want to understand where this lady is coming from? Hizi communications zenye mnafaa kuwa nazo from the onset. Usiende hapo unasema you want to cheat for any reason or whichever reason ati juu bibi yako ama your partner does not do this and that, does not meet this and that. Don't be a controlling or a manipulative partner. Listen to your partner, communicate, sit down. Na mimi by the way OT najua time inakimbia but I'm a big advisor, a big advocate for communicating. Anaambianga watu usikue tu ule mse mkiwa na challenges leo unasema unataka kutoka, unataka left relationship. Kaini chini, don't be a nonchalant partner. Ule nonchalant ni mtu mwenye hajali. They don't even have conversations. Sit down, have conversations, know where the direction this relationship is headed. Kama kabisa unaona yenyewe huyu bwaname wako, bibi yako ama msichana wako ni bure, hapo ndio kidogo unaweza make decision. Lakini sikue mko na challenge kidogo leo umehepa. No, sit down and talk. Usiende ati kucheat ama kujinvolve na vitu zingine ati juu mmekuwa na misunderstanding kwa relationship. No.
Just as we wrap it up, do you go back to your ex?
My ex?
Do you date your ex?
No. It's very bad. But I would say there are people who do that, but chances are the relationship haitakuwa venye ilikuwa. It is not always the same. Kama move on, sasa uamua umesha heal, maybe kama umeenda session therapy, umesha heal kabisa, it's been maybe months, then uamue na maybe tunafaa tu kurudiana. Well, there are instances where you can go back to your ex, for example, kama relationship yenu ilisha juu ya long distance. Kidogo in one way that can be applicable, but ati juu mmekosana kabisa in whichever way, abuse for example, alafu ukaekai useme maybe huyu mtu ameheal. Well, kuna wenye huwa wana work on themselves and they heal and they become better, but to be honest, going back to your ex is not really a good idea. You just better move on, work on yourself, heal, get a better person, which will get a better person with time. Usikuwe na haraka.
Because we just talked about when you have a problem in a relationship.
Yes.
Sit down.
Talk. Yes.
So maybe we have a couple. They had that problem with communications. They are meant for each other.
Yes.
They have common goals and stuff, but that was the problem.
Yes.
When something happens, they go out. So maybe they broke up. Everybody went their way. They looked for something like this, but they didn't get so.
Hata nasemanga natawaambia, and I usually ask them this question, and I'll ask them right now. You who is watching me, na when ule mtu mwenye, when you have a misunderstanding, you leave your partner. What makes you think that leaving your partner will make you get a better person out there? Maybe this partner of yours was meant to be your lifetime partner, but because of your, sorry to say, stupidity and ego and pride, you said, you know what, let me leave. But I've said in cases of toxic relationship where there is abuse, either emotional, verbal or physical, hapo ndio you need to think about it and leave, or even do couple sessions, ndio mjue vile mtasaidiwa.
Well put, Anthony.
Yes.
Basically what Anthony is saying, the grass is not always greener.
Yes.
On the other side.
Exactly.
That has been a nice conversation.
Thank you so much.
There are so much topics we have not covered, and I'll give you another invite.
No problem.
Hope you will,
no problem. We can be doing this. Inakuwa vizuri sana. I can give them my number. As we finish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and my social media.
Yeah. Maybe you can tell them maybe.
Okay.
The number, social media, maybe have an office or something.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me start with my services. I'm a psychological therapist, as I said in the beginning. I'm licensed and I've been practicing for like 4 years. Now, say 5 years per se, and I deal with so many issues: mental health, related relationship, any life challenge, any stressor that you feel like you need to address, childhood traumas, you feel maybe you have childhood traumas, you can come to me, and I believe that I can help you, and we can schedule therapy sessions with you at a very affordable fee, and we can be able to see how I'm going to help you. My social media handles on Instagram, official Anthony Njenga. Andika official, then ANTHONYNGENGA. Let me repeat. Official Anthony Njenga. Official ANTHONYNGENGA. Also on TikTok, official Anthony Njenga. On Facebook, Anthony Kaido Njenga. And my number is 0725 029398. Let me repeat. 0725 029398. Remember, mental health is wealth. You are not alone. It is okay to not be okay, but it is not okay to stay that way.
Yeah, man. And over here, chairman of Good Vibes, OT. You get me on all social media platforms on OT Kenya. And this is what we bring to the OT experience. And as we finish, Anjo.
Yeah, short,
Nayo. Thank you. Adios. See you when you see us. All right.